Today I am going to show you how to take this one stencil and turn it into two different projects. First, we're going to screen print a shirt, and then we are going to etch a flower vase. But before we do that, I want to show you how you can adjust this same artwork with your own names. So the first thing you're going to do is get the artwork. So just go to our free artwork page, and this design is under our Spring SVGs. You can also just search in the search bar for heart and it will also come up. So click on the design and scroll down, and then you can download the SVG. So just click that link and right click and save to your desktop. Once that's saved to your desktop, you can open Vectr or whichever program you're using. I'm going to use Vectr today. This is a free online graphics editor. So I'm just going to open up my editor, go to my print tab, and click on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I always set up my artboard the exact size that I'm going to be printing. So I'm printing on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and open that artwork, click on it, ungroup it, just right click, ungroup, and then remove this part of the artwork that I don't want. So I don't need this bottom part, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that, and then select that artwork, right click and group it. I always like to group when I'm resizing. So just click that little lock button, and this is going to be 7.5 inches wide, and it'll automatically scale, vertically how much it's supposed to be in proportion. So that looks good. Now I'm just going to right click and ungroup it so that I can adjust these words. So I use the names Thomas and Evelyn, but this is how you would adjust this artwork if you wanted to make your own names on here. So I'm just going to be using the font Overthink from dafont.com. So I'm just searching for that, downloading it, and then it goes into my downloads folder. And then I'll just open that folder up and move that to my desktop so it's really easy to upload into my program or into Vectr. So once I have that on my desktop, I go back into Vectr and select my text tool and type the name I'm going to be wanting to use. So I'm going to type in Maeve, and that'll bring up your font options on the right. So here's where you can click that add button and then upload your own font. So I'm just uploading Overthink, and then once it's uploaded, I can select it from that drop-down menu. But you do have to upload it first. All right, so I'll make this font Overthink and then change the size to be bigger, of course. And it may become so big that it goes outside of your font box and disappears like this. Just make your box a little bit bigger and it'll come back. So now I'm going to select that and move it down and rotate it. So in order to rotate, you just select one of the corners and the rotate tool will pop up and you can rotate it. All right, that looks good. So I'll just select Thomas and delete it and put Maeve in its place. And then I'm going to repeat the exact same process for my second name. So I'm just going to right click and copy Maeve and then paste it. So that's going to paste all of my exact same font settings, the font and the size. And then put in my second name, which is Ivor. So here we go, just delete Evelyn and then move Ivor in its place, and then just make adjustments to how I want it to look. So I'm going to rotate that a little bit up, and then I'm going to move that heart to be a little bit more centered between both names, and that looks great. So now I'll just select the art and make sure that it's black. So I'm going to select Ivor here and then click on the color button, and yes, it is 100% black. So I always like to make sure that before I print. So now I'm ready to print. Let's go to the export button, print, and it'll bring up my print settings. So I'm going to select my printer from the drop down, and then I'm just going to check to make sure all these settings look good, which they do. I always make sure that it's not scaled at all, that it's at 100%, and then I open up my print dialog box. So I have my print settings saved as Ikonart, but just so you can see what they are, I adjust my paper type, I adjust my print quality, I adjust my brightness and contrast, just to make sure that I am actually printing as dark as possible. And this all looks great. So now I'm ready to print. All right, and the rest of this process is exactly the same. Print your artwork as dark as possible, expose for 35 seconds using the Ikonart lamp, and then wash out your design using, good sprayer with warm water. We do always soak it for a little bit first just to make that washout process a little bit faster. And then once it's dry and post-exposed, you're ready to start creating. So we are making this shirt first, and I'm just screen printing like normal. I always use a tacky mat. I always use my fabric ink, and I just, screen print the ink across the stencil using squeegee, with pretty good pressure, but not too much pressure. You don't want the stencil to buckle, but enough pressure to get it through those mesh openings. And then I always lift really slow, like you just saw, so that I can put the stencil back down if I need to add more ink. This looks great. So once that dry, I'll just heat set it with an iron and we're good to go. Our second project is an etched vase. We're using Etchall etching cream, and normally I would use our blue stencil foam for this, but because I already had this stencil made, I wanted to show you that purple does work also on glass. It just should be fuzzed, or deadening that adhesive a little bit does help. So just maybe rub the back with a microfiber cloth or even pat it on your jeans or something like that, but it still does work. Ideally, we would use the blue stencil film, but as you can see here, the purple works as well. So we're just going to rinse that off, and now we have this beautiful flower vase. This would make such a cute matching set for Mother's Day, either for your mom or for yourself. My name is Fawn, and I share tips and tricks on how to make and use Ikonart stencils. If you'd like a more in-depth tutorial on how to use Etchall etching cream with your Ikonart stencils to etch glass, check out this tutorial right here. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time we upload.